So, will the Chiefs offense be able to get past that Ravens defense? Will the Browns defense give the Cowboys offense some fits? And what do our fantasy matchups look like this week? Well, we're going to find the answers to those questions and many others as we get you ready for the first week of the 2024 NFL season, and of course, the first week of fantasy football season for us and for all of you out there. It's our official week one edition of Fantasy Football Fever, and it starts right now. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Tuesday night, September 3rd, 2024. It's great to have you all here. I don't know about you guys, but I am so pumped up. Of course, as maybe you know, we had our league draft this past Friday night. Now the time for talking is done. Well, of course, we still got a few things to talk about, but the action starts 2 nights from now with opening night with the Ravens and the Chiefs. And then, of course, the first game in Sao Paulo, Brazil on Friday night. But we're going to get to all that in just a moment. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Anyway, my name is Tim McClellan. And, of course, this guy over here is the host of Hooked on Sports. It's the one and only John Flynn. How you doing, bud?
Hey, I am good.
Good to see you, buddy. And by the way, his latest episode of Hooked on Sports is available right now wherever you find podcasts. He's given his official postseason results, his seedings, and who's going to win the Super Bowl. So y'all be able to check that out. Uh, John Natali, I think he's running a little bit late. Is he?
I think he's going to be running a little bit late, but it won't. But we won't. But well, he said not to worry, and we'll keep going. I mean, sorry guys, we're delayed because there were some technical problems on my end. And look, as you can see, I'm actually home for the entire podcast, which is a miracle in and of itself. So. Because usually what happens is that I'm at another place on Fridays and I have to walk home at the time the podcast starts. So I usually have Tim because we share the same stream link StreamYard account is this for situations like the last several weeks, which happened to be consecutive weeks in a row. And he had to send the StreamYard link to everybody and whoever wanted to join us. That's a welcome change of scenery. I mean, perhaps the move to Tuesday nights has something to do with that. Hmm.
Oh yeah. Knock on wood, but don't really. Oh, right here. I'll just knock on my little wall here, but not too loud so that the neighbors can hear it anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just a big week. Week one is here. Games are about to start up, and I'm getting excited. Uh, but before we do that, before we do anything else, you want to run some hot topics first?
Yeah, I think there was some hot topics that I think should be discussed, and I think a lot of because I think no team has appeared more in the news or since our draft than the San Francisco 49ers. And there were two different things happened. First, on Saturday, first round pick Ricky Pearsall was shot on his way to a signing event in downtown San Francisco by a 17-year-old gang member. But luckily for him, he was in stable condition, and he was released from the hospital yesterday. And it's going to take a while for him to recover. So I think he's going to be. So the 49ers said he's going to be out for the first 4 weeks, but it was most definitely a scary situation in San Francisco, downtown San Francisco on Saturday. But the good news with the 49ers was that they reworked the contract of 11-time Pro Bowl the left tackle Trent Williams on yeah, today. The news came down today. So the 49ers have one of the most impactful offensive players of ending his holdout, and he is hoping that he'll be ramped up in time to start against for ahead of their Monday night matchup against the Jets to cap off week number 1. So it was a little bit of a bit of a bump in the road for John Lynch and to bypass, but he got that out of the way, and now with McCaffrey back with coming back from his calf strain that he suffered the second week of training camp, he returned to practice today. And now all things are a go from here for the San Francisco 49ers, who we all have going to the NFC Championship game this season.
Yeah, and I know everyone here in Longview, Texas is very happy that Trent Williams has signed the contract because he, of course, went to high school, played high school football here in Longview, Texas. So very happy to hear about that. Uh, it seems like another star wide receiver is still holding out. Jamar Chase and the Bengals still having contract problems.
Yeah, so basically, so you have this the CD Lamb extended. You have Brandon Ayuk extended, which was a big deal. But it seems that for some odd reason that the Bengals and Duke Tobin are I can't come to a realization that Jamar Chase needs to be extended and he needs to go because he had been holding out for much of the off season to be because he wanted a contract extension. Of course, the Bengals picked up his 5th-year option. He wasn't too thrilled about it, but now it's up to them to come to terms to get things going. Luckily for the Bengals, they get the Patriots on Sunday, but after that, they have their week 2 game is on the road in Kansas City in front of a national audience. So
Yeah,
it would be most imperative to get the Bengals up to get him up to speed with the new offensive coordinator in Cincinnati. So that's a topic for conversation. And so and speaking of a conversation about wide receiver contracts, and there's still some fantasy fallout with the extension with CeeDee Lamb signing his contract extension. So CeeDee Lamb talked to the press over the weekend and said last week. And he said that he's going to be that he wants to do everything he can to ramp up before week 1, and he said he is going to play against the Browns. Now, ESPN and Yahoo Sports, Yahoo Fantasy have a special characterization of both of them being designated as out for ahead of their game on Sunday, but CeeDee Lamb will be playing on Sunday against the Browns. So don't let ESPN or anyone else fool you. He will be playing on Sunday.
Good news. Good news. Looks like another player that's ready to go is Lions running back Jameer Gibbs. He had a hamstring issue in the last week or so, but it looks like he'll be ready to go in their Sunday night game against the Rams.
So he talked to the press today and said he's 98 to 100% ready to go, and I think he's in for a terrific season. Of course, he won a lot of people that owned him, so some fantasy championships last year based on how he came out of the scene and he delivered so much as a great back and forth catching passes out of the backfield. So I think that should be that should definitely be noted.
All right. We have a defensive player just got an extension. Jets defensive back Michael Cora II got a 3-year, $30.75 million contract extension. So that defense will be able to keep him for a little while longer.
Yeah, most definitely because now the Jets are building towards the future, and they have a lot of guys that are going to be up for contract extensions over the next couple of years, like Garrett Wilson, like Sauce Gardner, like Jermaine Johnson, and others. So you have that. Meanwhile, Hassan Reddick is still holding out of Jets training camp, and of course, Hassan Reddick is on his fourth different team, and he grew up around the Philly area, and he registered double-digit sacks for the Eagles last year, and the Eagles threw him out the door, and get shipped to the Jets. So it's up to Hassan Reddick to realize he's going to be a rental and that he needs to show up for his to earn a contract extension with somebody else.
All right. So, and of course, Jets have a big game this Monday night going to San Francisco to face on the 49ers, which I think is going to be a very, very good game indeed. Let's see here. I don't see really anything else here. Yes, talked about Hassan Reddick, and I don't really see much of anything else to
Yeah.
talk about unless you got anything.
I mean, did you catch some of the college football over the weekend? Because I mean, there was some very eye-opening results around college. Like Georgia demolished Clemson. Is equally impressive a win for Georgia as it was bad for Clemson. It's the Miami Hurricanes destroyed the Florida Gators. Notre Dame went on the road to Texas A&M, and they pulled out a victory there. So
I
uh,
know you're happy about that because I know you're a big Irish fan.
yeah, yes, actually it's like the only big time sports team I root for outside the New York City metro area. So all we needed was that one win, and I think we're pretty good the rest of the way. That Notre Dame should be expected to win every single game now. But now Georgia Tech, who beat Florida State, is ranked. Louisville is ranked. So those games are not going to be easy. But if they keep winning, that'll mean that Notre Dame has opportunities to get more resume building wins to show to the CFP committee, so they can get the highest seed possible. Because remember, the top four seeds in the new college football playoff are the four highest ranked conference champions, and Notre Dame is not ranked, not in a conference, so the highest they can be in terms of seeding is number 5.
Right.
So
And of course, I was at work on Saturday, so I didn't get to see my Longhorns totally blow out Colorado State.
yeah.
But now my Longhorns have a huge test against Michigan this coming Saturday. So
Yep, a college game day is going to be there. Fox Big Noon Kickoff is going to be there. So it's a big game when both pregame programs are
oh
are
yeah,
are out in full force.
yes, I'm hoping for a big season for my Longhorns. Of course, their first season in the SEC, so it's going to be an awesome year. I guarantee it. So college football going up, NFL starting up this week. And of course, also starting up this week is our fantasy league. We're going into week 1. I don't know if you got the share screen. Oh,
You bet I do. So are you ready to go? Let's
oh
start
yes.
preview matchups. So
Let's take a look at these. We spoke a little bit about these matchups this past Friday uh, during our draft, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth this week here. Uh, First of all, we have Dino going up against Jonathan. Kyler the Creator.
Yes,
So I
indeed.
guess I guess you're almost all in on Kyler Murray, huh?
I mean, I drafted Kyler Murray, so
Right.
it makes sense that I have so that I
And as we're
yeah.
talking about our fantasy matchups, look who just happens to join us right now, our league commissioner, Mr. John Natale.
Hello, hello.
How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. How about you guys?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. We were just about to start our week one fantasy matchups preview right here.
Nice.
The first
Yeah,
matchups.
so yeah. I mean, because there was a little a glitch on my end when it came to the ESPN sharing. So here we go. That's better.
Oh yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah. Flynn against Dino. This looks like a very good matchup. Mostly the advantage spots are, of course, on Natale's side. Uh, Dino has Joe Burrow, Travis Kelsey, uh, Nick Bolton, and Jake Bates, the kicker for Detroit. Looks like right now the projected total is 130.5 for Dino and 136.7 for Flynn. And Flynn's got a really stout lineup on his side, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, having Saquon Barkley and having Alvin Kamara, I think is really big for me because I know in my past that a big reason why I've been losing, in the playoffs is because the lack of production from your RB2, in the postseason. So that's why I really needed to make a concerted effort to draft someone like Kamara and actually the night after our draft, I had my another league of mine drafted and I wound up with in a 12-team league, mind you. I wound up with Isaiah Pacheco and Alvin Kamara as my two running backs. So,
Oof.
Yeah.
And what pick did you have in round one?
so round one, I picked CD Lamb.
No, I meant what position.
So the third round, I picked Kamara. It was pick 30. It was pick 31.
Okay, so that means you were. So I'm trying to calculate the first round. That means you were seventh pick.
I was the seventh pick.
Seventh pick, yep.
Yeah, and then of course I compounded with Sam Laporta the next round. So
Oh, nice. Oh, if you got CD Lamb at 7, that's a steal.
yeah. Yeah, because someone in my league took Josh Allen with the 4th overall pick, which I get. So, but it might have been a little early to get Josh Allen, but I digress.
Never drafted a quarterback in round one.
I mean,
when I first started.
Interesting enough, so the first year I ever did fantasy football was in 2013,
right?
And I drafted and I went OMG and drafted a quarterback with my first pick.
Mm-hmm.
It happened to be Peyton Manning in the season where he threw 55 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think the very, very first draft I did, I forgot it was 14, maybe 2015. I'll tell you guys this. My very first pick ever was Cam Newton.
Nice.
So was that when was that in his MVP season?
Maybe I want to say it was 2015. Maybe that was my very first year doing it, or 2014, something like that.
Yeah, because 2015 was the year he won the MVP.
Ah, well, if that was the case, then I got lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but anyway, but the projections are here, so
yeah. And I'm kind of taking a look at the bench players here that y'all have here. It looks like Dino has T. Higgins, Tony Pollard, Jalen Reed, T.J. Watt, Marquise Brown, Kirk Cousins, and T.J. Hawkinson. Both Brown and Hawkinson are going to be out this week. And over on Flint's side, I see Ramondre Stevenson, Keenan Allen, Devin Singletary, Zeke Elliott, DeAndre Hopkins, Jaden Daniels, and Tyler Conklin.
Yeah, I wonder if Dino is going to switch out one of his receivers for T Higgins if Jamar Chase doesn't play on Sunday.
That does be a good thing. That's a good thing. Dino, if you're watching, you might want to pay attention because if Chase still doesn't get signed, then you may have to move up T Higgins to the starting lineup. Might want to do that.
Yeah, but yeah, most definitely. So that was the first of our matchups. So I think we're going to go to the matchup between you and David. But now here, David happens to have CD Lamb. But his projection is reflected in the total. So because that wasn't the case on Friday when we did like our first preview into week one. But it is reflected in there now. So now David is projected to beat you by 15 points.
Oof. Ouch.
Yeah, I got some switching up to do. Oh, wait a minute. This doesn't look right. I mean the projections look right from what I'm seeing. 136.8 for David and 121.6 for me.
Yep, that's it.
But from what I'm seeing on my screen here, they got the wrong names here. I mean, it says Kyler Murray, Jets quarterback, and I've got Aaron Rodgers. Then they got it's weird.
I mean, if you look right at the screen, what I'm showing you on the screen is what I have. You have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And
Yes. Now that is correct. I'm just seeing some. Oh wait a minute. Let me take a look here again. Yeah, it's showing the wrong players here on my screen, but of course the screen I'm looking at on my laptop, but the screen that you people are seeing right here on the show, you people at home, this is correct. This is correct. It looks like he's got a big definite advantage over me, so I gotta figure out something between now and start of the games on Thursday. So yeah. Okay, so who are we gonna take a look at now?
So I believe we're gonna take a look at Italian. I think it's your turn now.
Mm-hmm.
With your matchup against Lucas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think among the 5 matchups this week, I think this is definitely the one that we're going to keep our eyes on the most.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's got two great quarterbacks: Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love, Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, James Conner. I mean, look at that all there.
Yeah. I don't have the greatest of running backs, but I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, but I mean, I like Kenneth Walker's matchup against Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might score more than 16 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as I wanted to draft a running back at round 3, I couldn't pass up on Marvin Harrison Jr. I had to give him a shot.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. Yeah,
it's crazy. I have 4 rookies on my team here.
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. Interesting to see how those rookies do in their first week of action.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be telling how it's going to play out at the as the season progresses because you're looking at.
Yeah, I stashed my one guy in the IR slot there. He'd use him for later if I need to.
Oh, Jonathan Brooks.
Yep. It remains to be seen how he does. We'll see.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, Lucas is riding with Jordan Love. It's going to be a tougher matchup than he thinks because I think Philadelphia's defense is better than people will give him credit for this season. I mean, he definitely has the advantage at the right position, but you have the edge at the receivers because I mean you drafted Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson top 2.
Yeah. Yeah. The only problem that's going to happen for me down the road, both of them have the same bye week.
Yeah, but so I think that's when we're going to start looking at the waiver wire stuff, and we're going to look at we're going to look at waiver wire players starting in next week's program.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what's going on here. So now let's take a look at
I believe the next one we're going to show is the one between Casey and
Casey and Andrew. Yeah, 135.4 projected total for Casey, 133.3 for Andrew. Pretty close on the early going. Looks like Andrew got the advantage for quarterbacks, the running backs, the wide receivers. Meanwhile, Casey's got tight end and his defensive player, his defense special teams, his kicker there. So only a 2.1 difference. That's going to be very, very close. I want to see the bench players that they have. Let's see if we can take a look at those here. Because for some reason,
Andrew's got to clean up the bench a little bit.
I mean, because Andrew drafted 3 defensive players, so he which I'll understand. So he's gonna have to wind up dropping probably 2 defensive players.
Yeah, he's got 4 quarterbacks. He's got to fix that too.
And 4 quarterbacks. Yeah. And,
I guess he wasn't paying attention to the bench that much, but you got to give him credit for the starting lineup, though. It looks good.
Yeah.
Starting lineup looks all right. So this is going to be another one of those really good matchups for this week.
Yeah, I mean, especially if Andrew can get off to a good start, like it's I think that's gonna be a big boost for him going forward, and all of that. So now I think we have one more matchup that we're going to discuss, and that's between Adam and Putnam.
Yep, Adam Oliver and Alex Putnam. Looks like Pizzle's got a little bit of advantage for his quarterbacks and his running backs. Meanwhile, he's got a flex player and Calvin Ridley. Look on the other side. Looks like Adam's going to be stacked with Pittman, Samuel, and Kittle. Now that is a triple threat right there. Zaire Franklin, the Cowboys defense special teams, and Justin Tucker's his kicker. That is going to be an interesting matchup right there. Now, I don't know. I mean, well, of course, we'll talk about the NFL matchups later, but Cowboys defense projected at 11.1. I don't know. Let's see how that Browns offense is going to work out, but I know that Browns defense is going to. I'm afraid they're going to give Dak Prescott and company some fits.
I mean, they had one of the best defenses in fantasy last year, and they're pretty much bringing everybody back, headlined by Myles Garrett, the reigning defensive player of the year.
Yeah, he's going to be keeping an eye on him because he is, like you said, defensive player of the year, one of the best that leagues has seen in his recent memory. So that's so those are opening week matchups. They look pretty good. Of course, we do have a lot of time to make a few tweaks here and there if need be.
Yeah, and if you can see the bench players, so that Adam has Ty J Spears, and also there is one thing that was a development this afternoon. We got another thing regarding the Bengals besides Jamar Chase that said that the Bengals have listed Chase Brown as their primary kick returner. So I think we can take our early takes, my early take about Chase Brown, and stick it with the sun don't shine for the time being, because I think Zach Moss is going to get more of the work in terms of carrying the football. So
Right.
Interesting. I have him as my bench player, so I got something to think about there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm leaning towards starting Connor over him at the moment.
Yeah.
I already benched DeAndre Swift.
Yeah. Yes. So I think those are our matchups right now. But we do have 3 questions that need to be answered, and we're going to start with this. So George Play 01 says, "Can you rate my team?" So here it is. It's a non PPR league, meaning that it is that catches don't count for points, just yardage.
Right. Let's see. Kyler Murray. Okay, you got Barkley and Gibbs. Ooh, running backs. Moore. I guess that's DJ Moore. Yeah, Jalen Waddle, George Kittle, Javonte Williams. I think that is. Yeah, bench Kirk Cousins, Brian Robinson, Trey Benson, Corum, Jalen Wright, Flowers, Mitch. I like it. I would start though. I would put Zay Flowers in as the starter instead of Javonte.
Agreed.
And Sam, but I think Saquon Barkley and Jahmyr Gibbs are I think their values are higher in PPR leagues because Jahmyr Gibbs the reason why my Jahmyr Gibbs is projected so high is that he's going to be utilized as part of the passing game, as like the number 3 target behind Amon St. Brown and Sam Laporta. So I think that's probably why he got both those, because his value was lower in a non PPR setting.
Right.
Yeah, but I love Kyler Murray, as some of you have figured out during the course of the lead up to the season. But Kirk Cousins isn't that bad of a bench option either. And then I think we're gonna have to see how the Colts utilize AD Mitchell as part of what I think is going to be a run heavy offense with Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor in that backfield. So I tend to like it.
Yeah, like I said, the only change I would make was I would put Javonte Williams on the bench and start Zay Flowers in that flex spot.
Yeah,
I'd do the same thing.
Yep.
Well, thanks for that question, buddy. Hopefully we gave you a little bit of advice there. We like the lineup. But in my opinion, Zay Flowers, great season last year. He is destined to have another great year this year.
I had him last season.
Yeah, he's pretty good. We got another person. South SCO 650 says, "What's good, fellas? What kind of questions getting answered tonight?"
Hey, throw anything at us.
Yeah, throw anything at us. We'll see if we can answer the best we can as we go through the show. Hey, we're here to help you. So that's a fantasy matchup. So now we got some start. Oh yeah, it's time to start them and sit them. Yeah, it's a little thing we started last year. So
I didn't think about it this time around. But yeah, go ahead, Flynn. But yeah, later on, if we have time, I do have on this day in NFL history for later if we have time.
I think we're gonna have time for that. So I think we'll get into the full steam ahead on those fronts next week. So I do have like last year we did a lot of different stardom and sit-ums that each of us gave us. We gave a bunch of different takes on like a dud, sleeper, and a stud. So I'm gonna give you I'll give you my big suggestions for this week. So I'm gonna start with the dud, then someone not to sleep on, and then of course my stud for the week. So my fantasy dud for week 1 of the NFL season is Dak Prescott, the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. And look, Dak had a magnificent season last year, and that he was one of the better quarterbacks because he 4,500 passing yards, 30 plus passing touchdowns. So he was dynamite. It helped when the Cowboys brought over Brandon Cooks to diversify the passing game. So I think with all things being considered, he has a very tough matchup in week 1 against the Cleveland Browns and their defense, which I think is going to be one of the best in the NFL, one of the 4 or 5 best in the entire sport. So I would sit Dak Prescott, even though it's going to be the weather's going to be nice in Cleveland on Sunday. I just think with the weakened offensive line of Dallas, with the departures they lost because of cap casualties and having to deal with Myles Garrett, I think for to that extent, I don't think it's going to be a fair fight. So I would bench if you have. I would find a better option than Dak Prescott to start for week number 1. My fantasy sleeper for week number 1 in the NFL, if my notes are correct, I have I have Zach Moss, the running back for the Cincinnati Bengals, as my sleeper of the week, which because John Natale just alluded to it about a couple of minutes ago about him being on his team, but. So, this comes off the heels of the idea that Chase Brown is going to be returning kicks for the time being, and with the new rules this year, there's going to be a lot more kick returns. So I think that they might we'll start the season with Zach Moss as the running back 1. Now there was a little tinkling about. I shouldn't say tinkling because I feel like because that's a little 70s slang, but they threw around the idea of Chase Brown getting the ball, being the primary running back for ahead of their week 1 matchup against the Patriots, and now that it's apparent that Zach Moss is going to take the bulk of the carries. Going up against the Patriots defense, which is in year 1 of a massive rebuild post Bill Belichick. I think and he's not owned by much in terms of the in terms of the fantasy leagues. I think with all that in mind, I think Zach Moss is someone who you definitely don't want to sleep on. But he is owned by 82.3% of ESPN fantasy leagues. So something to be considered in terms of the workload. And my fantasy stud for week 10. I don't know if I'll be saying this often this season, but I'm going to go with Chris Godwin, the wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because I think the matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Washington Commanders, I think is going to be a shootout with both defenses still being quite with Washington's defense especially being shaky, and then Jaden Daniels coming in and infusing a spark and hope for that franchise. I think it's going to be relying on the shoulders of Baker Mayfield to make some big throws late, and I think he's going to have to find Chris Godwin for some big plays late, and I think Chris Godwin is a really strong candidate to get 20 points this week. And I know we're still talking a lot about Mike Evans and the historic career, the Hall of Fame career that he's putting together, but I really like Chris Godwin there this week, and I think he's going to score 20 points this week.
Interesting. Very nice there. So, those are the starts and sits. Y'all hopefully make notes of that. I like that. Looks like I may have underestimated that one particular game that, of course, we'll be getting to a little bit later here.
I mean, Washington and Tampa on a 4:25 p.m. game on Fox. That usually never happens.
No, kind of rare in
So,
this case here.
So, most people will get to see the debuts of Jaden Daniels.
Oh yeah, that's true. Good to see how that young rookie does in his first action in an NFL game. See how that works out. Uh, I did not. I did not come up with a trivia question for this week. I may have to try to get one for next week.
Yeah, me neither. Completely slipped my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with all
I
this
did.
excitement about our
I did do
draft
the
and
on this day in
everything.
NFL history. I do have that.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
All right.
Yep.
Let's see. All right. I found a couple of interesting things here. Let's see. All right. I got two facts. Let's see. Starting on September 3rd, 1966, the Houston Oilers opened their season with some strong defense as they hold the Denver Broncos to 0 first downs at Rice Stadium in a 45-7 victory. I thought that was pretty
Mm,
interesting. The whole game, they didn't allow a single first down. But this one I find
wow.
actually more fascinating. On September 3rd, 1995, the debut games of two new NFL expansion franchises took place. Or why not? Just for fun. Let's see if you two guys can guess which those two teams are.
Oh, I know.
All right, go ahead, Tim. You already shouted it out. Go ahead.
Well, when we heard about these two teams coming in, I think I heard some comments about that in the NFL, 1995 was the year of the cat.
Yeah.
For a little Chinese calendar reference.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, those two teams were the Carolina Panthers and the
Right.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Bingo.
Yep.
And then here's some facts on both of these guys. Then the Jacksonville Jaguars bowed to the Houston Oilers 10-3 at Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. Meanwhile, the Carolina Panthers lost in overtime to the Atlanta Falcons 23-20 at the Georgia Dome. So there you go. So 95, 05, 15. So now they are exactly 29 years old today. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Carolina Panthers. So happy historic birthday to those two franchises.
Yes. Very nice. So I guess week one picks. This is where we do our picks for the NFL games coming up. And let's go ahead and pop them on the screen now before we start getting into that with a review about last year. Our picks well, this we're showing 2022 and 2023. A nice comparison there. Last year I basically won with the straight up picks at 187.98. The tally came in second with 182.103, and Flynn had 183.102. I was the winner against the spread with 152 and 126 with 5, and the tally had 146, 132 and 5, and Flynn with 147, 131 and 5. So looking at these numbers here, looks like the tally of Flynn did good straight up. And
Yeah, I was a game ahead of Natalie, both winners and straight up. While Tim, you were a few games ahead of me in both.
Mm-hmm. So that's how we've done the last couple of years as far as picking the winners and picking games to get the spread. So So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get right to the action, which of course starts 2 nights from now, Thursday Night Football. It's going to be a defending champion Kansas City Chiefs looking to do what no other team has ever done, have 3 Super Bowl wins in a row. They will start their season at home against the Baltimore Ravens, and the Chiefs are 3-point favorites. I've got the Chiefs winning, but I've got the Ravens covering. I see a very close game here, very very close. And it looks like Natalie and Flynn has both have close games here. We're all taking the Chiefs on that one.
Yeah, it's and the thing is, so Tim and Natalia have the Chiefs winning by 3. So, but in terms of the spread, is that when we see who's going to win against the spread. Tim has the Ravens covering, and then Natalia is going to get a point if the Chiefs cover.
All right, so there we go. History is going to be made on Friday. Very first NFL game down in South America, in Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil. We're going to have a very interesting matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia is going to be picked by 2.5. Looks like Natalia and Flynn are going to go with the Eagles, while I think that the Packers are going to beat the Eagles. Although I think 2024, yeah, I'm going with the Packers straight up on this one. So you guys are taking the Eagles, huh? Taking them chickens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what happens there. Going to the Sunday games now. The Pittsburgh Steelers going to be taking on the Atlanta Falcons in hot Atlanta. Falcons picked by 3. Myself and Flynn, we're both taking the Falcons to win and cover. Meanwhile, Natalie is going with the Steelers on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I can't discount that. I can't discount their defense. I think their defense is going to do big things. I think Lucas gave me a piece of history too, which kind of helped. He said something in the chat about the Steelers having success against the Falcons, so I'm going to ride with it. And I hope Lucas is onto something. But we'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, Russell Wilson, a washed up Russell Wilson is your week 1 start over Justin Fields. I mean, I mean, when I saw the news break, I couldn't circle Atlanta fast enough for this game.
Yeah, I keep saying Russell Wilson is just a shell of what he used to be.
Yeah, and looking at the scores here, that appears to be Flynn's lock of the week. But I don't do locks until after week 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that your lock, Flynn?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and hit that sound. Hit that sound. It's still there.
Yeah, I believe it's still there.
Oh yeah.
It's been a while since we played that.
Yeah, it has been a while. Yeah, actually. Next, we got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Bills are picked by 6.5. And all of us are going Bills with a victory, but it looks like we're all taking the Cardinals with the points.
Yeah, I was tempted to pick the Cardinals, but I pulled back at the last minute and changed my mind.
Yeah, I thought straight up, I thought this was the single toughest game of the week to pick. So because again, Cardinals are. I not only to say this because I picked the Cardinals to make the playoffs, but the Cardinals are going to be better than people think. And I think for Buffalo, I think I'm more concerned defensively.
Yes.
For Buffalo, I'm not concerned about Josh Allen at all, and Josh Allen was because I heard him on the radio this morning talking about So how he's gonna implement more other players like Ray Davis and Keon Coleman into the mix, and I think so. And his reaction has been relatively positive about that. So but I think that defensively losing their tandem of safeties is I think it's going to be a problem. I mean, because since Cincinnati had that problem last year when they lost both Von Bell and Jesse Bates to free agency. And their defense was not the same as it was the previous 2 years. So I think which was why Buffalo was a very tough exclusion for me from the tournament because of what Josh Allen brings to the table.
Right. So, yeah, this is going to be a very entertaining matchup right here. Buffalo, I kind of see them falling a little bit. Meanwhile, I see the Cardinals kind of rising a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And it'll also be interesting to see what happens when Jaden Daniels and the Chicago Bears start the season against the Tennessee Titans at Soldier Field.
You talking about Caleb Williams?
Caleb Williams. Yeah, I knew it's a guy named Williams. I knew it's Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams and Bears are picked by 4. We're all in agreement. We're going to take the Bears to win. But Flynn actually is going to take the Titans with the points, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I am. I am grabbing the points with Tennessee, but because I think you do. Because I think you do. You have to remember, as much as the hype Caleb Williams has, this is only his first NFL start, so that he's gonna need time to process defenses and different defensive looks throughout the course of a game, because he hasn't played a full game yet, and he hasn't seen how teams make halftime adjustments in the NFL. So I think he's gonna have a lot of different looks, and he's gonna I think he's gonna see the different things with that.
All right, that'll be interesting there. We have an AFC matchup with the New England Patriots and the Cincinnati Bengals. This game is in Cincinnati, and the Bengals are picked by 8.5. We are all in agreement that the Bengals are going to win. And not only am I taking the Bengals to win this game, the Bengals just happen to be my lock of the week. That's right then. Like I said, I think Joe Burrow is due for an upside this year. Patriots are still in rebuild mode, so yeah. And I don't think the Bucks are going to have, or those Patriots are going to have much of a chance against that defense. But hopefully, between now and then, Jamar Chase will get signed. They'll finally get a contract for him and get him back in the lineup. But I'm still going for the Bengals in this one.
I mean, with Jamar Chase, without Jamar Chase, I have the Bengals winning and covering.
Right. And so does the tally. So we're all in agreement.
Yep.
AFC South matchup here as the Houston Texans, the defending division champions, go to Indy to take on the Colts. Houston's picked by 3. We're all picking the Texans to basically win and cover there. Guess not much to say on that one. Interesting matchup here. We have a Sunshine State matchup here between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins at home, they're 3.5-point favorites. Natalia and I are picking the Dolphins to win, but it looks like Flynn is going to take the Jaguars to take the victory.
Yeah, that's right. I think the Jaguars. I think they have the quarterback advantage in this game. I think they have the better defense, and I just think, and I think you kind of forget how good Jacksonville was before Trevor Lawrence got hurt last season. So since it's a 3.5-point spread. Yep, first upset special of the year. I love Jacksonville this week.
Ooh, very, very, very nice there. Be interesting to see how Tua and company do against Trevor Lawrence and those Jags. We have another. We have an NFC South matchup. The Panthers and the Saints. We are in agreement. The Saints will win at home. They are 4-point favorites. We all have them winning and covering. Meanwhile, we have the Minnesota Vikings traveling to New York to take on your New York Football Giants.
I will be at the game on Sunday.
All right,
Nice.
we didn't want some. I want to see some pictures.
Yeah.
Think might get some pictures for a show next week.
We'll see how many I take.
All righty then. I'd like to. I'd like to see someone at a MetLife right there.
Yeah.
So it looks like, of course, Flynn and Natalie, they're going to, of course, go with the Giants with the victory. I'm the lone wolf on this one. I'm taking the Vikings to kind of nip them a little bit. But this, of course, is not my upset special of the week. That's going to be coming up a little bit later. So,
and besides, the Vikings are favored by 1.5 in this game. So
Vikings favor. So I'm taking them, but they're taking the Giants, of course. So
Yeah, the Giants' low-key defense, their defense isn't that bad. I like their front end and middle.
Look, the Giants' defensive line, I think, is going to be excellent this season because I love the acquisition of Brian Burns. So they only having to give up a second and a fifth for him instead of the 2 first-round picks that the Rams offered in 2022 for him. Thanks a lot, David Tepper, for the incompetence, and Scott Fitterer, who is. So it's easy to destroy Dave Gettleman for what he did to torpedo the entire Giants franchise to the ground. But what Scott Fitterer did to the Panthers was arguably worse.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Now we go to the late games. The 4 o'clock games, what we usually call them, starting with an AFC West matchup between the Las Vegas Raiders and the LA Chargers at SoFi Stadium. Chargers are 3.5-point favorites, and we are all taking the Chargers to win and cover. We are also taking the Seattle Seahawks at home. They're picked at 6.5 over the Denver Broncos. We have Flynn taking the Seahawks, but so Natalia and I, we're going to take the Seahawks to win, but we're taking the Broncos to cover a little bit. Just taking a.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a close game.
It'll probably be about a little bit closer than a lot of people would think so, but we're all taking the Seahawks in this one. Then, of course, my game, the Dallas Cowboys at the Cleveland Browns in the dog pound. Cleveland picked 2.5. I am, of course, I'm taking the Cowboys for this upset, but this is not my upset of the week. This is not my upset of the week. I'm taking the Cowboys while Flynn and Natalia are both taking the Browns. It's going to be seeing.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle of the defense, so it's going to be a very close one.
Yeah, two of the best defenses in the league right there. We'll just see which one's going to hold up very well. So I don't really see a huge. I don't see a real big time scoring, but it's not going to be a sleeper either. And it's not going to be like a where you want to doze off. It's not going to be like a garbage game of the week or anything like that. Meanwhile, we have Tampa Bay at home against the Washington Commanders. Tampa Bay is picking out 3. We are all in agreement with the Buccaneers over the Commanders. Actually, Natalie has the Bucks for the win, but the Commanders with the points.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a low-scoring game for some reason, because that both teams, I think, are clearly last-place teams. I typically don't do this until week 2, but this is like I call this my unofficial garbage game of the week.
Yeah.
Well, just the same. I guess we can play it. Again.
All right, fine.
So I guess unofficial, but I guess it'll be. Well, we'll just call it just the same here.
And that's the debut of your new garbage, isn't it?
Yes.
I was gonna say, and that's the first time you're using that new one, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yes, it is.
Ooh, I had the
And,
honors. I had the first one.
and if any of y'all recognize the music that I used for that clip, putting that clip together, y'all are going to definitely get some bonus points from me. If y'all think you remember where it comes from, just put your comments in the comment section below when you watch this video. And one thing I forgot to say, excuse me, we want you to see if you can pick these games better than we can. If you want to make your picks, go ahead and make your picks in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you, of course. Now we got the Sunday night game, NBC and Peacock. Detroit Lions are at home against Los Angeles Rams. It is the battle of the two quarterbacks who at once were on opposite sides. Y'all remember Matthew Stafford was originally drafted by the Lions, and Jared Goff was originally drafted by the Rams. And then a few years ago, they traded each other off. You see what happens here. Lions are picked by 3.5. We are all in agreement that the Lions will take this one. However, myself and Flynn, we're taking the Lions with the win. We're taking the Rams with the points. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than what the spread will say. But now, this is coming up. This is basically going to be the game of the week right here. Monday Night Football on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus. It is the San Francisco 49ers at home against Aaron Rodgers and those Jets. Niners are 4-point favorites. 4-point favorites in this one. Natalie and Flynn, they are going with the home team on this one. But meantime, I'm sounding the alarm. I just got this very, very interesting feeling that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, is going to do a little something to that defense right there. And maybe that Jets defense can kind of stop that high-powered offense of those 49ers. So that is basically the game of the week right there. I mean, that's going to be one that if I had to pay money to see it, I definitely would. But thankfully, I don't have to pay money to it. But so I can just watch the game and just enjoy the game, and that's pretty much our picks for this week. And with that, I guess that's the first big show of we want to say hi to John Sturr. Yeah, let's say hello to him. He's our resident chickens fan right there.
Yeah.
What's good? How you doing? Yeah, John Sturr, you got a pretty good one over in Brazil going against the Packers. Good luck, buddy. Good luck to those guys. It's going to be very interesting to see how the citizens of Brazil take to these NFL games. I mean, I think it's kind of interesting that it's spreading out to more and more countries around the world. Of course, we're familiar with the London games that they have every year. Of course, you can always set your calendar. You can always set your calendar to see a Jaguars game in London because even they play there every year. It's like their second home, I guess. And of course, they just had games like in Munich, Germany, I think.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember if they've had any other places where they've played NFL football. But this Friday will be the very first game in Brazil. That's going to be very interesting. So, and I guess with that, we're going to close up this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. Just 2 days away before the first game, Ravens and Chiefs. I'm getting very excited. I know you people are getting excited. Don't forget, Hooked on Sports. If you haven't had a chance to listen, just go to wherever you get podcasts, search for Hooked on Sports, search for John Flynn, and you're going to get some good stuff there. So, and of course, we'll be seeing all of you hopefully 1 week from this evening. We'll kind of recap a little bit of our fantasy teams and see how they did going to week 2. Guys, this is it.
Yes, I think.
Yeah,
I think
one Sunday in the books, and I'm sorry, one Tuesday in the books, and many more to go.
Yep, that's true. That's true. That is it. Hopefully, everybody gets to enjoy the games. If you're going to go out and have some fun, just remember, don't drink and drive, because we want you all to come back here next week. So, I guess we'll close the show right now. For John Flynn, for John Natale, my name is Tim McClellan. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the games, everyone. Have a great weekend. See you 1 week from tonight. God bless you all. And as always, be a good sport. See ya.